Yeah. Jenna, good
Oh, but I
afternoon.
make my own coffee.
Jenna, good afternoon. Thank you for being on.
Hey, good seeing you, y'all.
Yeah.
Hi, Zach.
Hey there.
Oh, that's Jenna.
Yeah.
This is Jenna.
I did not have the pleasure of meeting her.
Well, she's on this afternoon, and
Yeah. Well, I missed that part of the interview, so
oh,
it will be very nice to meet her.
hey, Annika, good afternoon.
Hi there.
All right. How are we doing on a quorum, Kennedy?
We are just waiting for 2 more.
Thank you. Now it's being antisocial this afternoon, but I may turn my camera off just to read the agenda and keep things flowing. However, it does not mean that I am not attending. I will go ahead and call this meeting to order. Welcome, everyone, to the Commission on Disability Issues meeting on Wednesday, October 15th at 4 p.m. Please note to everyone that this meeting will be broadcast live on CTN, cable channel 16, AT&T, channel 99, and online at a2gov/watchctn. And to speak at public comment this afternoon, please call toll-free 877-853-5247 or 888-788-0099 and enter meeting ID 919-8673-1455. Next, we have roll call. So Kennedy is going to go around and call everyone's name for roll call. If you could please, when your name is called, please unmute and say your name and where you're coming from today. That would be great. Kennedy?
Thank you so much. All right, so let's get ready for roll call. First, Chair Damon.
Yes, good afternoon. Chair Zach Damon coming to you from Ann Arbor, Michigan, Washtenaw County.
Thank you. Vice Chair Keeler.
Larry Keeler coming from Ann Arbor, Ward 5, Washtenaw County.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Commissioner Mozak. Commissioner Solomon.
Matthew Solomon, Ann Arbor, Michigan, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Commissioner Hawkins. Commissioner Gossage. Commissioner Packard. I think
Yes,
you're
Commissioner Packard at my apartment in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Buis. Commissioner Inkenbauer.
Hello, Commissioner Inkenbauer here, coming from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Conrad.
Annika Conrad from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. And one more time, Commissioner Mozak.
Sorry, it took a long time for Zoom to let me in. Kathleen Mozak calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you so much. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Cindy, and good afternoon, everyone. Really appreciate everyone for being here. We are now at the time for public comment. Just to let everyone know, for public comment, you are allotted 3 minutes per speaker. Kennedy, do we have anyone on for public comment this afternoon?
Currently at this time, we have no one on for public comment.
All right, thank you. Moving on to the next point, we do have the approval of today's agenda. All of you should have received a copy of the agenda ahead of the meeting electronically. If you have not, please let myself and Kennedy know, and we can get you a copy of the agenda at this time. Otherwise, is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
I'll move to approve.
All right. Larry moves to approve. Is there a second?
This is Kathleen. I'll second.
Thank you, Kathleen. All in favor of approving today's agenda, please unmute and say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you.
Aye, aye, aye.
The agenda is approved. Next, we move to the approval of the meeting minutes from September. And I want to thank our vice chairman for running that meeting and doing a wonderful job there. The meeting minutes should be within our agenda electronically, and you can view them there. If there are any amendments and or corrections to the meeting minutes, you can mention that now. If there is not, is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes from September?
I'll move to approve.
All right, thank you, Larry. Is there a second to approve the meeting minutes?
I will second that.
Thank you, Commissioner Packard. Seconds. All in favor of approving the meeting minutes from September, please unmute and say aye.
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 Thank you. The meeting minutes are approved. Next, we're going to go ahead and move to the city personnel report with Kennedy Cummings. Kennedy?
Hey, everyone. I hope you all are doing well and having a wonderful Wednesday. I currently do not have any updates or reports. As always, please check your please check your email for any commission communications. That's how I will send them out to you all. For this meeting, just to let you all know, under new agenda, we do have, if you did see a discussion about the bylaws are attached in the meeting packet. So if you hadn't had a chance to look at them, please go to the meeting packet and you can click on the file there and they are there. And lastly, the city of Ann Arbor recently just announced that the director of communication, that position has been filled. So we're very excited to have a new director come on board, and we look forward to him starting within the upcoming weeks. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Kennedy. Definitely look forward to connecting with the Director of Communications and glad that that position has been filled. And just want to give a shout out to the longtime Director of Communication, Lisa Wandrash, for all of her contribution and all of her service to the city. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Kennedy. Next, we move on to our City Council update report with Councilmember Aisha Ghazi Edwin. And Councilmember, always good to see you. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks all. Thanks for bearing with me too. I was teaching a night class up until last week. So I have not been able to come to Kodai due to the time conflict. And this is my first meeting since we started again after the summer. So it's great to be here. Some of the, I'm going to do a lot of listening today and hear about what sort of issues are coming up for you guys, just get caught up to speed. I think some of the most pressing things that are on my agenda right now are, we're moving into the third phase of the comprehensive land use plan, also known as the CLUP, CLUP. And there is, city council is basically, this is a strategic planning document that the state of Michigan requires us to make. It does not change zoning in of itself. That happens later. And it does involve community input. And this actual current stage where we are on the plan is now there's going to be 60 days of community input, which will begin after council approves it, if it gets approved at the next council meeting. So 63 days of people can come in and give comments. I think one of the things that has really stood out to me is, and it was raised actually at a coffee hour by one of my constituents recently, is accessibility is mentioned in a very vague and general way. And it's not integrated or explained meaningfully. So I do have a meeting with Michelle Bennett of planning it's actually tomorrow. It was almost said next Thursday. Where I'm going to talk about some of these issues. If any of you have interest in any of this, or you've taken a look at the plan and you see access issues, it's super helpful to have that written down. And I could even try to schedule some additional meetings with planning. I think it's important that they hear from our community and people with various disabilities. So that is one of the biggest things at the top of my list right now. I think other things that I'm trying to look into that are a little bit more creative is I've heard of cities that this is now shifting topic to parking. I've heard of cities that use an app that allow any parking spot to be an accessible parking spot. And I am going to raise that to the city. And also the city of Grand Rapids has a process where if development is being proposed, they have to consult with a local disability advocacy organization that specializes in accessible design. So imagine, developer wants to build something and they, for example, meet with Disability Network or another organization. I'm looking into also how do we propose that? Could that even be something that's part of the comprehensive land use plan, right? So that is an actual part of process instead of us kind of after the fact saying, hey guys, would have been great. So a few things I'm working on, but happy to take any questions.
Council member, thank you. I just wanted to make a couple of comments that I really appreciate, not only the resource that you mentioned with parking, but then also the processes of Grand Rapids. And I hope that, yeah, all of us can stay in the loop on that. And obviously myself, if there's anything I can help you with there, please keep me in the loop. It seems like we have a couple of questions. So Kennedy, if you want to call on them as needed, thank you.
Commissioner Solomon?
I believe that Kathleen was first.
My apologies. Commissioner Mosette?
Thank you, Commissioner Solomon. My question is about the first subject that you talked about with regards to the Planning Commission. The vote for City Council is coming up next Monday, I guess. Is there a way, if it is approved by Council, could we get a copy of the document to review it? Could Kennedy, you send a document to Kennedy and have her send it to us?
Yes, we could definitely do that. I'm trying to think about if it's publicly available right now, but you're saying the draft that is approved on Monday.
Right, because you were saying that a constituent you met with said that it doesn't contain really solid, accessible language. So I would love to look at the document myself to see really what's there.
Yeah, I mean, we could even, I think it would be beneficial even to mail it out right now, what we do have. And so what it currently has is a paragraph on accessibility. And I think maybe it mentions universal design, but I want to find out, can we be more specific? Can we be more intentional? Can we define it? And they may come back and say that doesn't actually belong here, maybe it belongs somewhere else, but I want to get the conversation started. So I think we can even get the present copy to you.
That would be great, because I think in the long run, if we as the commission can also support, this initiative, because I agree, it's very concerning if a document is vague, because then that means there's a lot of opportunity or a lot of missed opportunities because it's not being thought of in the forefront. So thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah. And Kennedy, would you mind sending a copy to the entire commission?
Yes, I'm able to do that. Are you able to send it to me via email?
Me? Do you want me to send it to you via email?
Yeah, and that way I can send it to the commission.
Okay, yeah, let me see the latest that is published.
Okay.
Yep, I can try to do that.
Okay, thank you. Next, I saw a hand go away, Commissioner Solomon, and then Commissioner Gossage.
Yeah, I just wanted to amplify and kind of underscore concerns around accessibility with these new developments because anecdotally, the evidence suggests that people with disabilities are a very distant afterthought when it comes to new developments. And so I think we need to be reminding our leadership time and time again that we need to be part of this circuit. We don't want to be brought on as a rubber stamp, which we have been brought on countless times before, and that we need to hold our city accountable for what is frankly a lack of accessibility in many areas. And I believe, again, anecdotally, this extends to much of the new development, that it's not really thought of as fully inclusive. And I feel it's our role to be helping vet these initiatives, helping to flag issues before we get to the construction stage, et cetera.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that, Commissioner Solomon. And so, tomorrow I'm going to bring up a few things. One will be the plan, and one will be that process that Grand Rapids employs about development. And I may need your guys' help in terms of it might be a resolution. It may be that you guys start contacting your council members, you come to a meeting as best you can, even if it's virtual. It does make a difference. Because I'm just, one voice. So, and the city, I think they are really open and they want to be as accessible as possible, but people just aren't taught this, and people aren't taught about, I think disability justice in the way that we know it needs to be important. So thanks for
We rely on your voice, and we appreciate your voice, and we're grateful that you're deeply invested in this commission. Are there strategic meetings that we should put on our calendars where we can, raise our voices on these issues?
Yeah, I think that, I just sent the link, the comprehensive land use plan link to Kennedy.
Yes, I just got it. I'm going to send that out right now.
Thank you. And, let's review it, and if we feel like it's worth it going to planning, we can do it. We could also have a meeting, without breaking quorum, with a few members of planning commission. That might be even more effective. And then think about, if we don't feel like we're being heard, then we go and we voice it in a meeting, just so we kind of are strategic about our asks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Solomon. Commissioner Gossage.
Hi, thank you for the work you're doing around this issue. It is really important. I wanted to let you know, I'm fairly certain the Center for Independent Living in Grand Rapids was involved with that work that you're talking about in Grand Rapids. So if you would like, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'd be happy to work with them or talk with them to see what we can do to continue to support you and your work.
Thank you. Thank you. I actually found this out at an event that I went to around this. I think it was actually, is Rachel Hawkins on, Commissioner Hawkins? No, her parents helped to endow a chair of disability justice at the School of Social Work recently. And I went to, I went to the celebration, and I met someone who was like, "Oh, you're a city council member. I'm from Grand Rapids, and I work, I think, for their CIL. And we do this process that's actually been super helpful." And I was like, ding, that's amazing. And we should do that here. So, can't make promises, but I want to start the conversation, and then we can lay out a plan together and start to strategize advocacy if that's what we need.
Perfect.
Hi,
Thank you.
Aisha. I am here. I just wasn't promoted to panelist yet, but I am here. I didn't hear the whole thing because I cut off, but were there additional things that you were I heard you ask my name, but I couldn't respond.
Oh, no. I was just saying that, the event, because of the event that happened with your parents endowing the chair in disability justice research at the School of Social Work. Because of that event, I met someone who works for the CIL in Grand Rapids and told me about the process their city engages in, where every development that comes to city, if it's approved, has to meet with the CIL to just for them to, to get more people to evaluate it for accessibility, which I was like, that is such a good idea.
I agree. I think that would be a wonderful improvement. And I think it would address Matthew's concern of what he was saying before about kind of disability commission being an afterthought instead of an active part in the process to make things, more accessible for everyone. Because everyone will need, increase these. It should be universal design, not not just focused on making it a minimum amount of accessibility. So.
Yeah. Commissioner Conrad, thanks for that, Commissioner Hawkins. Commissioner Conrad?
Yeah, hi. So I was just remembering that last spring, someone came to this commission to ask for ideas on the comprehensive land use plan, but then found out that it wasn't screen reader accessible. And so then instead asked for our feedback on how to make it screen reader accessible. So we weren't given a chance to give our ideas on it. So I'm glad that you're asking us now. But I wondered if there's any updates on, whether the plan is being made more technically accessible. And then I also wondered if you could tell us what stage the plan is in, so we have kind of that context as we're trying to come up with ideas and feedback.
Yeah, so it is in the final stage. So that means that it would go for a vote to City Council on Monday. And if City Council approves it, it starts the clock on a 63-day public comment period. So then input can be received from the public. And then after, I believe then final changes would be made. And then after that is when, if it's finally approved, we would have parts of zoning that get voted on. And that also involves the public providing input. So it's really in the final stages right now, but I don't think it's too late at all for us to be giving feedback. And I think it's essential that we do. But Commissioner Conrad, thank you for raising up that important issue about just being screen reader and it being accessible. And I thought that they had made it screen reader compatible, but unfortunately, I don't know the answer to that. Jenna Trong, do you know if they have made the plan screen reader accessible?
So I know
Or
they had some of the asks from the commission that the folks that they contracted with were able to fix, and it seems like most of them except some of the visuals. So I know it's not at 100%, but I think about 8 of the maybe 10 or so bullet points for concern that I saw were supposedly addressed. So yeah.
Thank you. And I just sent a link. Oh, I just wanted to wrap up and say I just sent a link that I found on the Engage website. Is that one screen reader accessible? Because I want to make sure that everyone on this commission can have access to it. I don't know if you know that question, the answer to that question, but
I think that would be the document that they should have received from the company. I don't think it would be different from the one that would have been edited. So as far as I know.
okay. And Commissioner Conrad, please keep us updated if that's not the case, or anyone else. Thanks.
If there's time, I just had one final question, I guess, which is, as you I'm sure know, there's a kind of grassroots movement to pause the plan, and because some argue that insufficient amount of community input has been onboarded. How has City Council responded to the call to quote unquote pause the plan?
That's a great question, Commissioner Solomon. So there is kind of a mobilized effort against the plan called Pause the Plan, a group. And one of their complaints is that there hasn't been a lot of community engagement. One thing I will say is that the state, we have gone above and beyond what the state quote unquote requires. That doesn't mean it's all been accessible in terms of communication or engagement. And I also think that during this time up until today, we've not had a communications director. And I think that the city was struggling to engage people in a very accessible way. So, you know, when I say accessible, I mean language that was really complex. Town halls, I think, where people didn't fully, you know, understand what was being discussed. So one of the things that I kept asking for the city administrators, can we release some more public education? Can people really, can we do some, you know, info sheets, just kind of combating some of the, a lot of it was not based in fact. A lot of what is being said by the Plaza Plan Group is not based in fact. And can we dispute those claims? I know that that's something that the new communications director is working on.
So you would not
So
advocate a pause in this process at this time?
not at all. We need that housing. And with having, you know, the cost of housing rising at an astronomical rate, having the fastest rising rate of homelessness we've ever experienced, we need more housing. We definitely need more housing. And I think this has been done in a thoughtful way. And when you look at other cities that have experienced similar growth and who have implemented plans like this, they've been able to bring down eventually the cost of housing. But I do think that there is a lot of misinformation out there. Like, people truly believe that if they're in next to a transition zone, they're going to see, you know, skyscrapers next to their homes, and it's simply not true. We have requirements in the plan that stipulates that a building of, you know, above 3 stories cannot be so and so distance away. I believe it's like 150 feet or maybe more from a single family zone or single family residence. Other things like that. I hope that answered the question.
I look forward to reviewing the document, and I thank you for your willingness to share it with the commission. That'll be a really interesting reading. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for the question.
Thank you, and thank you again, council member, for all of your efforts, all of your work. We really do appreciate your collaboration and being able to work with you, and definitely keep all of us posted as things develop, and we will help you as needed.
Thank you. I appreciate all of your guys' work, truly. So I may be in touch, and please feel free to email me if you have read the plan and you have any suggestions that I can take. Even if it's not by tomorrow morning, if it's over the next few weeks, just email it to me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, council member. All right, moving on, if we may, to the special presentation portion of our meeting. I just want to let you all know that we did have an adjustment to today's agenda. The Michigan Climate Action presentation will not be happening today, but we will reschedule that for a later date. So we will go ahead and move on to Best Buddies of Michigan. And I want to thank Lydia Goff for joining us from Best Buddies. And good afternoon, Lydia. The floor is yours. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. Super grateful for the opportunity to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I have some slides prepared today with a couple videos embedded. But again, so thankful to be here. All right, I'm going to make this full screen. All right, so as Zach mentioned, my name is Lydia Goff, and I am the lead program manager of Best Buddies Michigan. I'm based in Ann Arbor, so go blue. And then the rest of my team, we're a small but mighty team here at Best Buddies Michigan. My supervisor is John Gansey, who is our state's director of mission advancement, who oversees our fundraising and development. And then our other colleague is Natalie D'Angelo, who is our lead employment consultant, managing our integrated employment program, currently serving Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties. All right, so some of you may not be familiar with Best Buddies, so I'm going to be giving an overview of our overall organization and then a deeper dive of what we have going on here in Michigan and even more specifically in Washtenaw County. So we are an international nonprofit organization, and our mission is to establish a global volunteer movement that creates opportunities for one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, inclusive living, and family support for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. So I'll be using the abbreviation IDD throughout the presentation, and that includes, but is not limited to, people with Down syndrome, autism, Fragile X, Williams syndrome, and many other intellectual and developmental disabilities. And then these pictures on the right are some of our program participants throughout the state of Michigan, some of my favorites. All right, so as I mentioned, we are an international organization. So this map here shows our impact globally. So we have a presence in all 50 states and then over 43 countries worldwide. I think this number has even increased since I made these slides, because one of our big organization's priorities is to expand our reach internationally too. And then in our last program year, we had over 150,000 actively involved participants throughout the world. All right, so next I have a video, so I'm going to make sure I'm sharing my computer sound as well. And this is narrated by one of our amazing participants, because who better to explain what we do here at Best Buddies than someone who is involved in it themselves. Trying to figure out how to share my sound. I'll try to play it, but if it's not working with the sound, just let me know.
To belong is one of our most big.
Can you all hear that?
Yes, I can
Yes.
hear the video.
Okay, perfect. I'll make it full screen then.
Basic human needs. The desire for connection is universal to everyone. People who have intellectual and developmental disabilities, like me, often struggle to make friends and find our place in the world. It can be lonely, and we are not always seen for our abilities. Best Buddies changes lives by providing opportunities that meet people where they are with a welcoming embrace. It's all about inclusion. Inclusion is a little girl with autism celebrating her birthday surrounded by friends for the first time. When a teenage boy with Down syndrome lights up with joy as his best buddy pulls into the driveway. It's a capable and hardworking woman being seen for the value she brings to the workplace. A smart and inspiring man given a platform to lift his voice for the world to hear. And a group of people with and without disabilities laughing and living life together as they navigate adulthood. That is inclusion. Best Buddies International is the world's largest organization dedicated to ending the social isolation of 200 million individuals who have intellectual and developmental disabilities. Anthony Kennedy Shriver and a small group of friends started Best Buddies at Georgetown University, based on the idea that everyone deserved to have a buddy. What this small group of friends started has turned into a global volunteer movement, impacting the lives of over 1.2 million people. Our programs are designed to build more inclusive communities from childhood all the way through adulthood. With 5 mission pillars, we focus on meaningful one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, inclusive living, and family support. Giving a little bit of yourself to make someone else's life better is pretty powerful. Help us break down barriers as we continue this important work, and join us in celebrating the abilities of all of our Best Buddies participants. My name is Joshua Felder, and I am a global ambassador and former board member for Best Buddies International. You have the power to make an impact, create change, and champion our mission of inclusion today.
All right, I hope you all enjoyed that video. It's definitely one of my favorites. And if you've seen the movie Champions, Josh was actually a star in that, which is a very great movie. All right, so as Josh mentioned, we have 5 mission pillars in Best Buddies: one-to-one friendships, integrated employment, leadership development, inclusive living, and family support. And currently in Michigan, we have 3 out of those 5. So the ones on the left, friendship, employment, and leadership. So I oversee our state's friendship programs, which are meant for all ages, starting as early as elementary, going through adulthood. So we often operate within a school setting. So we work with elementary, middle, and high schools, as well as colleges, to form sort of an extracurricular club in which students from the special education classrooms and the rest of the school can form meaningful one-to-one friendships, inclusive events happen throughout the school year, and a great time is had by all. And we love for these friendships to really transcend school walls. I'm still friends with my best buddy from high school and college, because those friendships have really changed my life, and we've really grown in our friendship pillar, which I'll discuss later on, but definitely an exciting and rewarding program to be a part of. We also have an adult version of the friendship program, which I'm going to explain more in a couple of slides, called Best Buddies Citizens, meant for those past school age and who are just looking for a friend in the community. And then also here in Michigan, we have our integrated employment program. So that's currently in Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb County. So we unfortunately do not have it in Washtenaw County yet. But of course, if you know of people in those counties who may be interested in getting involved, definitely get into touch with me and I can connect you with my colleague, Natalie. So she works with a caseload of adults with IDD to help them throughout the life cycle of employment. So from resume building to interviewing, applying for jobs, and then once someone gets hired, to be with them to help them learn the job, but also work with the employer to make sure that they're educated about the importance of accessibility and inclusion within their workplace. And then our final mission pillar here in Michigan is leadership development. And this is a statewide program where we work with individuals with and without IDD to grow as leaders, self-advocates, and learn important skills like public speaking, speech writing, among other things. So we recently launched a program called the Ambassador Academy, in which we have 11 Michigan participants undergoing a 9-month-long training to really grow as leaders. So we're very excited for all of them. And then, as I mentioned, we do not currently have inclusive living and family support in Michigan, but we are hoping within the next several years to bring those right here to Michigan. But inclusive living essentially works with a college campus. So when it comes to Michigan, it'll likely be in Ann Arbor, where we would work with an apartment complex to get a floor or two, and those units would be designated for members of the community with and without disabilities who are paying rent and living in this inclusive community. Each person would have their own unit, and then every week, like monthly or every week, dinners happen for the community members and monthly events happen as well. So hoping to bring that here to Ann Arbor soon. And then finally, family support is our newest mission pillar, which is currently operating in some other states throughout the country. But essentially, this is a mentorship program for families who have a child with an IDD, and they get paired with a new or expecting family of a child with IDD, and they share resources and connect them to opportunities. And most importantly, just show that their child can have such a beautiful, fulfilling life through being a part of Best Buddies and other wonderful organizations. All right, and then here is our impact locally here in Michigan. So we currently have 21 school-based friendship chapters. So that's our elementary, middle, high school, as well as college programs. Then we have 2 adult friendship programs, one here in Washtenaw County and then one in Oakland County. And then last program year, we had over 1,000 individuals participating in our programs, and over 250 one-to-one friendships were formed. And then my colleague Natalie has about 21 participants on her jobs caseload who are either actively employed or looking for employment. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we have 11 participants currently going through our leadership development or ambassador program. All right, and then looking more specifically here in Washtenaw County, so we have several programs going on. So we recently opened 2 new high school chapters within the last year, and those are at Ypsilanti Community High School and Lincoln High School. We're always looking to add more to that. So if you know of a K-12 school that would love Best Buddies or maybe has a similar program but is looking for more structure, definitely connect me with them. I'd love to chat with them and support them in bringing the Best Buddies chapter to their school. And then we have 2 very strong college chapters, University of Michigan's, which is actually our longest standing friendship chapter here in the state of Michigan, and usually one of our biggest ones. I believe last year they had over 300 members, so involving both the college students and then community members. They often partner with the WISD to get their young adult programs to come to campus and form those friendships. And Eastern Michigan University also has a chapter and works with the young adult programs in IPSI to get their buddies from. And then in the next couple of slides, I'm going to be doing a deeper dive into our Citizens program. But about a year ago, we launched our Adult Friendship program here in Washtenaw County. So again, this is designed for adults who are no longer affiliated with the school and are looking for a friend and a community to be involved in. So every month we host an event within Washtenaw County. Just this past weekend, we went to the Dexter Cider Mill, which was very fun. And next month, we're going to be doing a Friendsgiving. So if anyone is interested in getting connected, I'd be happy to chat with them because we're always looking for new members. And then finally, I just wanted to include some pictures on here since we are in Ann Arbor of some of the collaborations we've done with the University of Michigan's football team that have been just so rewarding and mutually enriching for both the participants from Best Buddies and the football players alike. So those are some of my favorite pictures from some of the events we've done with them. Okay, and now doing a deeper dive into our Citizens program, since this is one of our newest programs that we've brought here to the Ann Arbor area. So as I mentioned, this is for adults, so anyone over the age of 18 with and without IDD who are no longer in school and looking for an opportunity to make friends and be a part of a social network and community focused on inclusion and belonging. So every month we host an event in the area, and then we pair individuals with and without IDD in one-to-one friendships based off of similar age, interests, and availability to really set them up to have a genuine, long-lasting friendship. And as the program has grown, which has been so exciting, we also are facing the reality that there's now a wait list of buddies waiting to be matched. So we are definitely in a need for more volunteers. And we've found in other states that have really successful Citizens programs that they are able to get a volunteer base through a company or a business where they can get a steady pool of volunteers to participate in Best Buddies Citizens, but we haven't been able to do that yet here in Ann Arbor, so definitely open to any ideas or connections on that front, because as of now, a lot of our volunteers have been more just random community members who are involved in a variety of things, who are all such wonderful members, but always looking for more volunteers.
Just to let you know, you're at the 2-minute mark.
Oh, thank you. And then I'm just including a QR code on here in case anyone is interested in signing up. That'll take you to our online membership application, and then I will contact anyone about next steps. And then I will save this video for you all to watch on your own, but this is a great little friendship spotlight out of another Citizens chapter in Minnesota, just to get a better sense of what we hope to accomplish with Best Buddies Citizens. And then finally, I just wanted to wrap up by spotlighting a couple of our special events and fundraisers in case anyone is interested in getting involved or supporting. So our most upcoming one is our Champion of the Year Gala on November 14th at the Henry Ford Museum in Dearborn. So this is one of our more fancy fundraisers where we have about 10 community members who are in a friendly competition to raise the most amount of money for Best Buddies. So we're always looking for people to come buy a ticket and attend the gala, or if you know of a business that'd be willing to donate an auction item, we can definitely connect offline. And then our friendship walk is going to be in April back at the Detroit Zoo, and that's a really community friendly, family friendly event as well. It's free to participate, but that's definitely one of my favorite events as well. So happy to provide any information if anyone's interested in learning more or getting involved. But yeah, this slide just kind of summarizes what I've talked about and some of our more pressing needs. So yeah, feel free to contact me. My email and contact information is on here. But thank you so much for your time and happy to answer any questions.
Chair Damon.
Thank you so much, Lydia, for that wonderful presentation and for all the Best Buddies does around our community and around our state. Just had a quick question. Are there any buddies that are like professionals with disabilities that also get paired up with, a participant? I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that's a great question. Absolutely. Everybody is welcome in Best Buddies. So I think I would just like talk to the individual and see who they'd want to be paired with because we want to, do what is best for them. But absolutely, anyone would be welcome.
Sure, wonderful. No, I think that's really great, and I've seen just throughout my time in Michigan the impact the Best Buddies have had in the disability community. Building that confidence, and I was really impacted to hear about the implementation of the family program as well as the independent living program. So as those build and as you continue to implement those here in Michigan, please reach out. Let us know if there's anything we can do to support those efforts.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Any other questions for Lydia? All right.
Local volunteers uncovered and began the arduous process of documenting over 9,000 racially restrictive covenants throughout Washtenaw County. These covenants were used primarily in the first half of the 20th century to prohibit primarily Black, but also other individuals from living or purchasing certain properties based on their race, ethnicity, or religion. The harms of these covenants persist today. Now, the full map is complete, and we will share what we've learned and invite you to imagining what comes next. Join us as we uncover hidden histories from Washtenaw County. And we have Exploring the Mind, the stress response in humans and animals, friend or foe. This is Monday, November 10th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at the Downtown Library. Stress is often portrayed as the enemy of modern life, linked to heart disease, depression, and premature aging. But this story overlooks a crucial fact. The stress response originally evolved because it was adaptive. In this talk, Professor Jacinta C. Beener traces the biology of acute stress, showing how the body mobilizes energy to face immediate threats and why this is essential for survival. She then turns to chronic stress, highlighting the well-known costs of an overactive stress system in human health. Finally, she argues that we have underestimated the benefits of stress, drawing on her research with wild Capuchin monkeys in Costa Rica. During one of the most severe El Nino droughts on record, individuals with a stronger stress response were more likely to survive. By reframing stress as both friend and foe, Professor Beener shows how evolutionary and ecological perspectives can reshape our understanding of human and animal health. And then, as usual, I would encourage anybody who's interested in the Washtenaw Library for the Blind and Print Disabled receiving large print materials, audiobook materials, signing up for the Braille and audio reading service that you can use on your own device and download your own books, to contact us at the library. And our phone number is 734-327-4224, or you can email us at wlbpd@aadl.org. And then I'll highlight a couple of books that I came across that are newly added to BARD recently. We have Palaces for the People, How Social Infrastructure Can Help Fight Inequality, Polarization, and the Decline of Civic Life by Eric Kleinenberg. We are living in a time of deep divisions. Americans are sorting themselves along racial, religious, and cultural lines, leading to a level of polarization that the country hasn't seen since the Civil War. Pundits and politicians are calling for us to come together to find common purpose. But how exactly can this be done? In Palaces for the People, Eric Kleinenberg suggests a way forward. He believes that the future of democratic societies rests not simply on shared values, but on shared spaces. The libraries, child care centers, bookstores, churches, synagogues, and parks where crucial, sometimes life-saving connections are formed. These are places where people gather and linger, making friends across group lines and strengthening the entire community. Kleinenberg calls this the social infrastructure. When it is strong, neighborhoods flourish. When it is neglected, as it has been in recent years, families and individuals must fend for themselves. And then finally, we have We All Want to Change the World, My Journey Through Social Justice Movements from 1960s to Today by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For many, it can feel like change takes too long, and it might seem that we have not moved very far. But political activist Kareem Abdul-Jabbar believes that public protest is a vital part of affecting change, even if that change doesn't come right now. In We All Want to Change the World, he examines the activism of people of all ages, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds that helped change America, documenting events from the free speech movement through the movement for civil rights, the fight for women's and LGBTQ rights, and of course, the protests against the Vietnam War. At a time in our history when we are witnessing protests across campuses, within the labor movement, and following the killing of George Floyd, Abdul-Jabbar reminds us that protests are a lifeblood of our history. Protest movements, even peaceful ones, are never popular at first, but there is a reason protest gatherings have been so frequent throughout history. They are effective. And that is everything that I have for you all today. Does anybody have any questions, comments, or anything for me?
Yes.
Larry.
I have a comment. The comment is, I dig your new machine.
Oh, that's great. He's talking about, we have a new digital talking book machine we're calling the DA2. And this is a new version of our digital talking book player that will connect to wireless internet, and you can actually use the BARD website to send books directly to the player. And I've actually heard that some people are finding it a little bit difficult to use. It's a little bit more complicated than the other players. So Larry, I'm really happy to receive your feedback and hear that you like it.
The Bluetooth needs to be activated, but other than that, I think it's good.
Yeah, there's a couple steps to get it working. We've actually been suggesting that folks use a USB keyboard if that's helpful. That may be for some people and not for others, but some people have found that that is a little easier to hook up to those things initially.
Nope, a lot easier.
Yeah.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, thanks as always, Katie. Since you asked for comment, I want to give a shout out to two AADL events that were nothing short of spectacular. One was the July 27th screening of Resilience Revealed at the Ann Arbor District Library downtown location. Great event.
Yes, it was.
Absolutely stunning event. Almost as stunning, but really eye-opening was Sunday's Dead Media Day. What an incredibly original idea for an event terrific vendors, you know, a lot of vinyl, phonograph cylinders, old formats, just really original, eye-opening, ear-opening event. I hope it's held again so that more members of our community. I've never seen anything like that in my lifetime, and it was just stunningly original and informative. Can't say enough good things about Dead Media Day as well.
Thanks so much for sharing that. That's the first time that we've held that event, and I will definitely pass that along to the team that organized it. So I'm so glad that you enjoyed it. That's great.
Chair Damon?
Thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to say that I was really bummed that I was not around and that I had to miss that event. So I was going to ask, actually, thank you, Matthew, if there was going to be another Dead Media Day. So hopefully that can happen and others can attend. I think it is always important to know the media techniques that have come before us because history is important. So hopefully that can be something that happens again. Matthew, so grateful that you were able to attend that and enjoy it.
I'm just writing a note for myself right now to make sure that I pass on your feedback to the team so that they know that it's something that we definitely want to repeat.
Commissioner Packard?
Oh, I just wanted to reaffirm that I'm a big fan of those medias, so I wish I was there Sunday, but I'd love to see another one. And thanks for all the books that you ordered. I love giving you suggestions for the book by someone named, if I don't just had been hearing about that, if that's one you want to check for, but thanks for all you do.
Sorry, Rob, I think you cut out a little bit, at least on my end. What was the book that you're suggesting?
I heard today about a book about a person who's blind who moved forward and what they did. Kind of an inspirational book called Unseen. But you can always get in touch with me. But appreciate you what you're ordering and your by Molly Burke.
Oh yes, I am definitely looking forward to reading Unseen by Molly Burke. Yep.
Oh,
I
God.
would imagine that we'll get it. I know it's still pretty new, but I will keep that on my radar and let you know when I see it come across the new books, and I'll try and highlight that here too when I see it come through.
Friends, I guess. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Any other comments or questions for Katie at this time? All righty. Well, as always, Katie, thank you so much to you and the AADL for all the great work that they do. We do really appreciate it. What a great resource in our community. And if anybody has never been to the Washington Hall Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, check it out. It's awesome. Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome, and thank you so much for having me. See you later.
All right, bye-bye. Next, we have the Disability Network Washtenaw Monroe Livingston report with Andrea Henry. Andrea, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Let me see if I can do this faster than the sun is moving currently. So I apologize for that weird angle. Just wanted to highlight a few events. Some of them I think I touched on a little bit in September and wanted to just keep them on your radar as they continue to get closer. The first event is our Halloween trunk or treat and dance party. It is next Friday, October the 24th, in our Ann Arbor location. The trunk or treat happens in our parking lot from 5:30 to 6:30. The dance happens from 6 to 8 inside of the building. Candies, costumes, dancing, food, and fun for ages 14 plus. Lots of volunteers will be decked out. Trunks will be filled with treats, and the dance floor will be ready for your best moves. Bring your friends, dress up if you'd like, and celebrate Halloween together. Does require some registration, and you can do that by giving our office a call at 734-971-0277 or sending an email to info@ dnwml.org, and we can get you connected to get registered for that event. On the heels of that event, we are doing a community harvest gathering on Saturday, November the 15th. Again in Ann Arbor from 11 a.m. to 1. That day will also include a holiday market from 1 to 4 p.m. where disabled artists will be set up to get you a head start on some of your holiday shopping. Some of the items and vendors that we expect to see, things like pottery and ceramics, textiles and wearables, paper quilling, small sculptures, jewelry, paintings, photographs, and more. So feel free to join us for any or all of that event on Saturday, November the 15th, as well as the big reveal of our ADA Celebration Community Art Project. If that day doesn't work for you, the holiday market will be back in December on Saturday, December 6th from 1 to 4 p.m. Featuring very similar wares to the November market, as well as the opportunity to get your purchases gift wrapped for free. So if that is not your thing and you'd like someone else to do it for you free of charge, please join us between 1 and 4 p.m. on Saturday, December the 6th. These and many more activities can always be found on our website or calling our office again at 734-971-0277 or emailing info@dnwml.org. That's all I have for the commission today, unless anybody has any questions or comments.
This is Jared Damon. Just wanted to thank Disability Network, Washington Monroe Livingston, for all that they do for our community and all the great community events that they offer. That harvest gathering sounds amazing, you guys, November 15th. So hopefully people can make it out there for that. And just thank you so much for all that you guys do.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Andrea? All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Next, we have the Partners and Access Committee report with Vice Chair Larry Keeler.
Yeah, I had some of the lines on my thing run together, so I asked Kathleen, Commissioner Mozek or Commissioner Achenbar to fill in, but we did discuss the bylaws. I'm taking a look at the bylaws before the upcoming election and to see if we need to table the election. Well, we'll talk about that, but in particular, I was just looking at them, and you want to look at Section 6, Articles 1, 2, and 3. For that, we also discussed again, and Commissioner Mozek sent pictures of the 3rd Street the 3rd Street stairs across from the sort of across from the Lutheran Church over there that we have talked about before, and has been put on the list for redoing. The question is when, so I may in the next month or two ask them exactly when is that happening, because we're on the list for it, but we don't know, and Commissioner Mozek took a few pictures and sent them in. And we discussed the library, the strips at the library, the way to put some kind of yellow strip or tactile things so that you knew where those stairs were in the front a little better, especially for those with low or no vision. And I got to get in contact with the library pretty soon about that, but my week got swamped with a lot of personal things going on. And also, Commissioner Achenbar, we had Commissioner Achenbar and Commissioner Mozek, and Commissioner Achenbar brought up the idea that we need to get the social media committee moving a little bit. And that's it, unless Commissioner Mozak or Commissioner Ackenbar have anything to add.
I have nothing to add, Larry.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you to the Partners in Access Committee. And you bring up some very important points really quickly, especially about the social media committee. Hopefully, yes, we can get that going as soon as possible, and keep that going. So I will be in touch with those commissioners that have been interested to get that moving, so that we can form a plan of action and some tasks there. All right. Thank you very much, Larry. Next, we have the Community Engagement Committee reports with Commissioner Rachel Hawkins. Rachel, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Zach. So I have been in touch with Melissa Bondi. So I know Kathleen and Melissa had been talking about possible openings related to like a kind of like short-term or guest hosting. Melissa did not have any updates on their upcoming tapings, but I'll forward that to Kennedy once I receive that. So more to come there, but don't have any new updates at this time. So sorry about that.
Thank you, Commissioner Hawkins, and please keep myself informed on the hosting opportunity. Commissioner Mozak, I hope that is something that CTN can start to work you into in terms of once they form their production calendar for the year and sort of how that process goes. I just want to make sure that's seamless, but then also Commissioner Mozak, that you're given good support there. But CTN does do a great job, and it's a wonderful facility. Hopefully you'll be comfortable there. And any insight you would like and or advice on that sort of thing, please feel free to reach out as well. All right. Thank you, Rachel. Well, next we have recruiting activity with Vice Chair Larry Keeler. Larry.
Well, nothing has happened since you've been out. We still have an application that needs to be reviewed and maybe get a time for a interview. Other than that, I've heard nothing about any other applicants or anything. I still think we have 2 spots open. And that's my report.
Thank you, Vice Chair Keeler. Kennedy, can you confirm, if possible, do we still have 2 seats open?
Yes, at this time, the commission has 2 vacant positions.
Thank you. Okay. Larry, I will be in touch with you about that outstanding application. And if there is anybody that would like to be involved with that interview process, please let myself and Kennedy know. Thank you, Larry. Don't go anywhere, Vice Chair Keeler, because we have you down for the Transportation Commission update.
I had not a lot, but there's a little bit here. So that they've in public comment, there was a lot of concerns about the Miller design and how they're designing Miller Avenue over there, but before between around 7th Street and up and down left and east and west from there a little ways. They're thinking about putting in some they're putting in different designs, and they want to slow it down too, with their traffic calming. And there was they voted to remove parking on Brockman side, so on one of the sidewalk for a sidewalk. They took away the parking so they can put in a sidewalk over there. And that motion carried. And then there was, for updates, there was, I don't know why my lines have run together. I better make sure I put my paper in straight. There was a motion to, I have no clue what that says, but anyway, something passed, but it must not have been major. And then they're talking about putting, instead of the old lights, they're putting LED lights in, and they also want to put for the street lights, but they also want to put in some shielding on the side so that they don't shine in people's windows. They want them halfway bright, but they don't want them to shine in windows and places where they should be shining. They want them just on the streets, pretty much. And they're talking about putting in more street lights. They want to put in more of them. And yeah, that's a house shielding lane. And they're talking about more lane reduction on a lot of different streets. And that's it. And the next meeting will be, after some consideration, there was a little dispute on when it was going to actually be, but it's tonight at 7. And it is on CTN. And that is it.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Definitely appreciate all those updates there. And really appreciate the updates on streetlights as well. Oh, pardon me, it seems like we have a commissioner that has a comment. So Commissioner Packard. Commissioner Packard, did you have a comment?
He's in limbo.
All right. We'll go ahead and move forward. Commissioner Packard, if you have a comment for Larry based on the Transportation Commission, just let us know once we get to new business and or announcements. All right. Next, we have the U of M Council for Disability Concerns meeting update with Commissioner Matthew Solomon. Matthew, the floor is yours.
So the commission met yesterday, and just another reminder, the commission is open to any visitor, and the meetings are on Zoom. Yesterday's meeting was concerned with just sort of getting to know one another. So it was commented that despite forming this community, it was sometimes difficult to get to know individuals on the committee, and so breakout rooms were formed, and basically the bulk of the meeting was just in breakout rooms meeting other members of the community. It was an unusual format, but it was beneficial because you come away with 4 or 5 or 6 new contacts. So that was the agenda for yesterday's meeting.
Commissioner Mozak?
Thank you for that, Matthew. I have a quick question. So I've been with the CFDC since like 2015. We used to meet in person pre-pandemic. I found the in-person meetings to be extremely helpful because you could network sideways. They would provide a little food, but you could see people in person and really get to know each other a little bit better. Have they considered going back to it again, or is that off the table? Do you happen to know?
It's an excellent question. I really have no idea what. I can see on one hand the accessibility features of online meetings, but I think what you're saying is also very true. So I would suggest reaching out to the chair, Pam, or the co-chair, who's appears to be very active from Flint, I would just ask them that question directly, or perhaps, yeah, between now and the next meeting, I'd urge you to do that.
Thanks, I'll do that. I'll reach out to Pam.
All right, thank you, Matthew, and thank you to the CFDC or the UMich Council for Disability Concerns for all they do for our community and the university community as well. And I'm very excited that all of you are able to get acquainted, know one another, and then if there's anything that our commission can do to support the CFDC, please let us know. Thank you. Next, we have the chair report. The biggest thing that I want to report on today is I'm excited to announce that the 2025 James T. Newbacher Award winner has been announced. And the ceremony is planned for October 30th, 2025 from 1 to 3 p.m. And that's going to be at Weiser Hall on the 10th floor. Now, I'm very excited for this award, and I hope that our commission can come out to this. I will be sending out a email invitation with a registration link so that we can just register ahead of time. But just want to let you guys know that that's Thursday, October 30th at 1 p.m. for the James T. Newbacher Awards ceremony. And I hope that, again, our commission can come out and support that award recipient and congratulate them. And just to give a quick background for those that don't know, it's an award that's sponsored by the U of M Council for Disability Concerns and the Equity and Civil Rights and the Title IX office. And it's also supported by University Human Resources, Michigan Medicine, and the Office of the President. And it's presented to a faculty member, staff member, student, or an alum of the university for significant achievements in either empowering people with disabilities, advocating for or advancing disability rights or disability justice, or increasing the accessibility of programs and services to promote disability inclusion. So it is an award that, to me, really has a great tradition within our community, and then also within our great university at the University of Michigan. So again, hope all of us can attend and congratulate the 2025 award winner there. Thank you so much. Commissioner Mozak, you have a comment?
I actually did. It is very exciting to be able to go in person, but for anyone, you kept mentioning in person, but I want to share that it is a hybrid. So you can, when you go to the website, you can choose whether you want to be in person or on Zoom. So that makes it easier for those of us who can't necessarily travel or like to be able to have that space and not be in with other folks. So that's another excellent way of watching.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Kathleen. Great point, and that's a great catch. Yes, for those that cannot make it in person, please know that you can attend virtually and view the ceremony and can still support that way as well. And information on how to register for both in-person and virtual will be in the email invitation that I send. Thank you, Commissioner Mozak. Commissioner Packard?
I was just going to say I was there last year, and it really is a great uniting of great forces around here. So well worth it if you can make it in person. Just wanted to throw that plug out there. Thank you. And I was, I think my signal went down earlier when I raised my hand, and I was just going to throw out a plug that if anyone notices any yellow lines in our city that need to be there to demarc for, low vision ramps, sidewalks. I know it was brought to our attention during visions, and I think it's a good effort just to kind of throw back to that. But
it was around way before that.
Yeah. it's an ongoing, but um, if anyone contacts Larry or myself, we'll make sure we keep it up.
Thanks, Commissioner Packard. This is Commissioner Hawkins. I just wanted to say that I echo your sentiments as well. I had also attended with you last year, so we could celebrate our commission member Aisha, who won last year. So just
Oh yeah.
very, very proud of Aisha and her work, and was thrilled to be there celebrating her. And it's really impressive to see, the work that everybody is doing and is being highlighted at these events and the connections that get made by attending in person. So would also recommend that.
Yeah, this is Aisha. I just want to say I'll also be there. Dr. O is really incredible and excited to.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, council member. I wasn't sure if it was made public yet that that Dr. O was the recipient, but
Well, I thought it was. I had at least heard, but if not,
sure.
now
Sure.
it is public.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Congratulations to Dr. Okunlamni on his winning of that award. Very well deserved. So looking forward to that.
I echo those sentiments as well. Dr. O is incredible and really does such amazing work in adaptive sports and in the medical community. So glad we're honoring him.
Yep. All right. Next, if I may, folks, we're just going to move down to old business. Under that, we have the social media discussion. So, yeah, I understand, there's been a push by PIA to kind of start that. And keep that going. So I wanted to know, Rob Packard, I think you've shown interest in this social media committee and being able to kind of help lead those efforts there. On this discussion, what do we really need to kind of make this effort move forward, so that we can have some sort of good traction? And Commissioner Angenbauer, I know you also have some interest in the social media committee as well. So what do you all suggest that we do kind of going forward from today to get some good momentum so that we can kind of do the Facebook thing, all the social media stuff, and get that going for Kodai?
Commissioner Packard, you're still muted.
There we go. Better? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm glad to meet with a group here who's interested in establishing those pages. I think Facebook and Instagram are the basic two. And we had talked also about, and it was just came up earlier, about meeting in public more and hybrid meetings. The idea of maybe our next commission meeting, we could make it a hybrid with whoever can make it at city council chambers, and that would allow us to get a group photo together and kind of see each other's faces, if that's something we could support. And that could be a great way of letting the community know who we are as well, if we're able to do something like that. It seems like it's the one time we try to set our schedules free. So I don't know if that would need to be put to a vote, that idea. And it would be a good way for us to sideline, and communicate with each other a little bit better, get to know each other, if that's something we could try for our next month, and then make a goal of having a page ready to add that picture to.
Yeah, Rob, I mean, these are great points. I just wanted to know, I mean, kind of how are you planning to organize sort of the social media pages with Sam? I mean, maybe we can, try to set up a time to meet for a picture and December as well, so we can also get a full commission picture?
Is if November or December, whatever month is better with the notice that we would want to have for us all. And I think it's a matter of is there anyone here who also feels they can help to construct a page? And I think there's the issue, we have to all be able to get together and agree on what we want and what we want to represent in the purpose. So if we're able to get together in person or maybe have a group meeting, if it has to be Zoom, that's fine. I'm available for either.
Yeah, I mean, and there's been, suggestions of even doing a commission holiday party as well. So I just wanted to put that in, that we could do a commission holiday party and then plan to meet, for that photo at that particular time. If everyone is open to that. Yeah, Kennedy, could I ask you to send out a survey to ask commissioners if a picture in November or December would work best for them, and then we can kind of determine the schedule there.
Yes, I can create a doodle poll and have that sent out to the commission tomorrow. And I'll include the dates of the 2 meetings.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think going forward and creating a commission Facebook and Instagram would be great. We would just need to determine who would drive those. So would it be Commissioner Packard, Commissioner Ankenbauer? Who would drive those and sort of set those up and maintain?
Commissioner Ankenbauer, have you set up one in the past?
Yeah, sure. And I do research in, this is Commissioner Ankenbauer. Yeah, I do research in technology and have, done that kind of thing before. So yeah, I think it would be good also if the social media presence kind of had a opportunity for people to present or flag maybe accessibility issues in Ann Arbor, or suggestions or something like that as well. So maybe like a Google form or something to accompany a social media presence where people could anonymously or not anonymously kind of raise suggestions or issues or concerns or something like that. To us, it would be like kind of a good avenue for, I think, as well. So something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah,
totally.
Zach, that's a great point. To be able to utilize our social media as a platform to bring about different things in the community that are kind of, hot topics that we could address. And I think doing that also engages our social media accounts to where people would also follow and know what's going on. So I definitely agree. I would say, if you guys are open to it, I think Kennedy could set up a Zoom for you guys, and then you guys could meet over Zoom and discuss some other ways. And then whoever decides to be the social media committee chair, I think would be sort of in charge of kind of driving and maintaining those pages. We definitely have a catalog already of pictures from past events. So whoever decides to chair it, whether that's Commissioner Packard or Commissioner Ankenbauer, myself and or possibly Kennedy, we can provide you with sort of the archive of photos that have already been posted and taken, so that you have some materials to work with.
I'm pretty open next week. If there's a day time we could arrange to meet, the 2 or 3 of us, or anyone, of course. But I love your attitude and idea of giving us a way to share and encourage people to, like you said, anonymously if necessary, and help share their concerns on ways that we can improve the area. Just another great avenue. And I also would love it to be a place where we can promote those who are doing great things, of like the award that you just we just mentioned earlier, things like that. Anything we can promote positivity and great things going on and raise awareness and concerns as well. That would be amazing. So yeah, I'm open to any, if we can try to make it for next week so that at least 2 or 3 of us, if that's okay and allowed. I
Sure,
mean,
yeah, I mean, I would say this. I think, Kennedy, I don't want to speak for you, but I think in terms of organization, I think um, reaching out to Kennedy and or myself
okay,
with the names of commissioners who would be, kind of participating and interested in the social media committee, and then basically, Kennedy can then send out the email um, to basically set up the time to meet so that you guys can begin those discussions. But I think it's
okay.
just important for, you know, Kennedy, as far as city organization goes, to know who's going to be involved in that. We
And
have some
yes, I'm
comments.
able to do that as long as I have a list. I can help set up a time for you all to meet, whether that is a time you guys want to meet next week in person or virtually. If you would like to meet in person, I do want to make you all aware you do have the option to reserve meeting rooms at City Hall during the day. So if there's a place you all would like to conveniently meet, I'm happy to arrange meeting spaces for you all as well here at City Hall. So I just need to know. Commissioner Mozak?
Yes, I think that what Commissioner Enkenbauer said about having a forum, a place for disabled folks or their advocates to be able to, say, hey, flag something. I know we have A2Fix-It, but that doesn't always meet my personal needs. I would want to go a little further ahead and involve Council Member Ghazi Edwin on this question. If we're going to be looking at a form, council member, would they need to contact legal to find out how that could be done, or even if we can do something like that? That would be my only concern.
Yeah, hi, Commissioner Mozak. This is Ghazi Edwin. So the question is for the social media aspect, if we were going to have a forum, would we be able to do that? Is that what you're saying?
What I was saying is one of the suggestion from Council Member Enkenbauer was having a form, FORM, online so that people could make online complaints directly to the commissioner.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yes.
that kind of tweaks me a little bit. I wonder if we shouldn't be contacting legal just to figure out how to do something like that.
I think that we would have to, and Kennedy, you can also assist in my response with this, is that we're going to have to ask legal and communications. But I do want to emphasize that, especially, Commissioner Eckenbauer, because of your research and just your background in accessible technology and web usage. I mean, yes, we have a new director of communications, but we really need to advocate for accessible universal design across all these platforms, including how constituents engage with us, how we engage with the public, how complaints are recorded and made. So I'm actually wondering, maybe if a bigger picture question here is, should we ask the new director of communications to come to the next meeting? And
So if it is going to be a complaint form, I do know currently the commission does not have one. So if they were going to have one, I do think that would need to be reviewed by legal. I would have to double check with Sarah Higgins. But as far as some type of form or survey form, I believe that's something that could be created. I know, for example, the Commission of the Police Oversight and Human Rights, I can say they do have complaint forms, and it's it's available on the website. I know with CODI, a complaint form was never really made. It's more like contact CODI if you have a issue, but if there was some type of complaint form, I think it would need to be the language and stuff would need to be written.
approved.
Also, too, going with that, if I'm not mistaken, I believe with our website policy, I believe it's within there what policies and things like that
Yeah.
pages.
So I guess, yeah.
So if that's something again the committee would like to do, I'm happy to provide that the policy and other information about website designs and what you can and cannot have, so that the commission could know the type of things that are available.
Yeah, thank you, Kennedy. I think that would be great. I think if you can ask the attorneys if we can design a complaint form, if we can design a draft and then they can review it, that would be great. And then I think a larger question is let's ask the director of communications if they can come to a meeting and we can ask about like accessibility across all platforms. I think these are like two different but connected things, I guess. I just
No,
started
sounds
thinking,
good. That
yeah.
works for me. I would just need, so once the committee is created, whoever the committee chair is, once we
Okay.
have like a time set for like to meet and everything like that, or like the group, I can send out an email with the policies, an electronic copy. If you guys would like hard copies, I can have those for you guys as well. And then you guys would just need to draft, the committee would just need to draft what they would like the form to have or look like. And then once I have that language, I can go ahead and have that reviewed by attorneys to make sure that's right.
Okay, that sounds great. And then Kennedy, would you be able to reach out to the communications director and you can CC me on it?
Yes,
Can you
I don't
CC
know.
me as well, please?
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes. I don't know if once I can double check if their email is set up yet. I know
okay,
recently this
okay.
was just announced, so I don't know if their credentials have been created yet. But once there's some contact information, yes, I can reach out to the director of communication. Also, in the meantime, too, we do have an acting director, so I'm also able to reach out to them to see if they know or have any information on it as well. So yeah. Happy to
Yes.
help.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Yes, I completely agree that all of this is a good idea. I just wanted to advocate for having some additional subpages because I know we frequently mention like these events that are going on like through AADL or Visions or things that are accessible through BART or things that are going on in CTN. I just really think it would be really helpful to have that on the website too, even if it's like an event calendar. The things that are happening at CIL can be included because I know not everyone is going to listen to the meeting minutes, just to figure out what's going on. So if it were on the website as well, I know that would probably make a big difference to people actually being able to know when the events are happening.
Yeah, Commissioner Hawkins, I mean, I definitely agree with that idea of having a standing calendar, on our webpage, but then hopefully that can be connected to our Facebook and Instagram, in terms of disability awareness days, ADA celebrations, yeah, events with going on at the library, events happening elsewhere in the community. I think that is very, very important. The key is there a calendar that can be updated easily and or automated to sort of input certain information so that it's not I would say too taxing on anyone. So I think looking at that processes and kind of how that can work would be important. But I agree with you there.
Chair Damon, I was just going to say as well, like even bringing up the stuff about CTN and Ann Arbor Inclusive, like it could be like a subpage that just explains, what Ann Arbor Inclusive is and has just the general link for their YouTube page. And we could, if there was a way we could set it so it would automatically post whatever the most recent episode was that had been uploaded, or even if it was just their general YouTube page and then people could check it. So like, I don't want to create more work for Commissioner Achenbauer. But I do think having some kind of centralized calendar would be helpful if we can figure out a way to do it that it's not too time intensive for any one person to manage.
Right, absolutely. So, absolutely. Well, okay, I mean, so I think just, compiling a list of commissioners who will be participating, on this committee, and sending that over to Kennedy as a starting point would be great. And then I think from there, um, I think then from there, Kennedy can email everyone so that they can kind of decide when you're going to meet, and go from there. So, yeah, please feel free. Kennedy?
I guess it might just be easier for me to ask right now. Besides Commissioner Inkenbauer and Commissioner Packard, are there any other commissioners present here today that would like to participate on this committee so that when I do send the email out, I can include you on there? If you are undecisive right now, that's totally fine. You can just shoot me an email as well, letting me know if you'd like to participate. So if you want to raise your hand or just signify, okay, Chair Damon, you will participate. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to make a quick comment. As chairman, I would consider myself just an ad hoc member
Okay.
of the committee, and if and when I'm able to make the meetings, I will. But I would like to be on at least the email chain so that I can be in contact with all of the other committee members, so that if they need assistance or photos or content, I can help them with that.
Okay, sounds good. Seeing no other hands, again, if
Yeah.
you are interested in joining the committee, just please shoot me an email or give me a call at the office, and I will make sure when the communication goes out to schedule a meeting and to send out the policy that you are included.
One more thing. I am unmuted, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Correct.
we can.
I very much support the idea of being closely involved with our new communication structure and legal, because I mean, social media, as we know, can go in many directions, and unintended consequences. Obviously, people would who want to post, it would have to be approved through an administrator, of course. So, but I think they should absolutely be involved so that people can't just file claims out there that could put people at risk. So, yeah, the more help, the better. Collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Packard.
Yeah.
All right. So at this time, I think I'll move on. Is there any other questions or comments on this topic? All right. Next, under new business, we have the commission bylaws review and election discussion.
And I'd like to speak to that first, please.
All right.
I've got, we could have discussion after. I've got a proposal, and I've got I've got a few things. So according to us, according to our bylaws, Commissioner Damon and I, although Commissioner Damon has done a great job, according to the bylaws, we're antiquated. We could switch positions, or we could have new chair and vice chair according to the bylaws, and that's why I referred to Article 6, sections 1, 2, and maybe 3, and so that I've got a few other changes I'd like in these bylaws, because this is unclear about the November. November is unclear, so what I'd like to propose is that we postpone our elections till June, and we do our nominations of anybody who's nominated in May, because it says we can, according to this, it says we either vote November or June, but I think that if we want to change the bylaws, I do see a little section or two in here that I would want to clarify a little more, that we form a bylaws committee that could eventually do, more than this, more than just this section. But I was thinking about this section because our elections are coming up very quick. And I was proposing to table the elections until June. And we could work on seeing this, or do we want to keep the bylaws the same, or do we want to change these particular articles, especially Article 1 and 2, so that, we can continue to do what we're doing, or or, you know, maybe put different folks in charge, or at least just change up and we could legally change up and I could be chair and Damon, Commissioner Damon could be vice chair. I, at least according to these bylaws, I would so far intend to set out my next term and take a term off, but that's here nor there. So
Yeah, Larry, really
I would like to.
Well, Larry,
well, first,
sorry,
yeah.
Vice Chair, I just have a quick comment and then I'll get to you, Commissioner Mozak. But I just want to be clear that I don't believe the bylaws can be changed without council approval. I think council needs to approve the changes before they are solidified. So I don't think our commission can just amend the bylaws and have that be that. I think it has to go through council, if I'm correct.
Well, then we'll have to find. Then we could, in this interim, find out if that's what needs to be.
Right, Commissioner Mozak.
I just wanted to speak to something that Larry said. It in the bylaws, it says elections take place in November or the next meeting, not June. It says the next meeting, so that would be December or January.
Oh, there's this June, July thing, and we used to do elections in June.
I understand, but I'm looking at the bylaws right now and I don't see that as an option. It says elections to November 30th of the second following year, or the following as soon as possible thereafter, a next regular meeting is what it says. It doesn't say June or July in the bylaws.
Oh, it says to July, June.
Where are you
Okay.
looking?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, actually, we have Council Member Ghazi Edwin still on. So, Council Member, do you mind just clarifying changes in the bylaws? They must be approved by council, correct?
I am almost certain this is actually, I am almost certain that is the case, but I can look it up really quick.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I know we just worked on bylaws for Transportation Commission, and as far as I know, we didn't have to go through City Council, but maybe we did.
Let me see.
But I think it's important to note, the processes and make sure that, we're, doing things as the bylaws are written, or, if there are amendments and adjustments that we want to make to the bylaws, that we, have an opportunity as a commission to consider those. But again, just doing it through the due processes, which again, I believe is through council approval.
So they are subject to approval by City Council. Or the commission
Okay.
may adopt bylaws and standing rules consistent with the chapter and subject to City Council approval. Yes. And code as this hand. I'm just reading some stuff on the city website. Code was created. Okay, and it looks like its bylaws were amended in March of 2016, which clarified membership requirement. That's the last time we amended it. So I think,
Yeah, I do remember that.
yeah. So I think that what we would do is we could suggest like an amendment, and we could send it to the city attorney's office to say, does this conform to, the city charter and code? And if they say yes, then we could submit those proposed changes as a legislative item. So it would go on the city council agenda.
Okay, so the next question is then, what would we do about the upcoming election? Would we hold the election according to these bylaws then? And then wait to, in that case, if we held the election, technically we'd have to hold it today, it looks like, because it said something about end by the 31st of
November,
October. But we could,
not October, November.
oh,
So
November. Okay.
I thought it
so
was talking about the 31st of October. Okay.
so the election next month would still need to take place. If the commission would like to amend sections in the bylaws, they can. But again, that has to be reviewed, and then it would have to be taken to council for review and approved. And I know that their next meetings are November 3rd and November 17th.
Yep.
Commissioner Mozak?
Okay, so
Yes, I just wanted to say that we also need to get some sort of consensus. It sounds like today, if you're talking about having elections in November, of whether the commission as a whole wants to change the bylaws or leave them the way they are. You know, that has to be a full commission decision. And I
Yes.
really think we need some really good discussion on it.
So the commission would need to decide today if they are going to keep the bylaws the same, or if you guys are seeking to change them, and then following there the steps and process of how those bylaws get amended. So if you guys would like to have a discussion now to decide if you would like to keep the bylaws or change them, you guys can.
the other question I have is, the other question that begs is, so if we'd still have to hold November elections, correct?
Correct.
Because we couldn't, if we vote to change the bylaws or to look at the bylaws, they'll still be in effect until we submit the changes.
Yes, and then from those
And so
changes getting submitted, they would then need to go to council for, I believe, a first and a second reading, and then those changes with council approval would be approved.
So for next month, we'll have to nominate for chair and vice chair.
Correct, because that's
And anybody who wants it can be nominated. We can nominate, or they can nominate themselves.
correct.
And so
Anyone
we
who-
do that next month, or we do that today.
you would do that next month. All
Can
of
I
this.
just make a,
Okay.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to make a quick clarifying comment. So it will not have to go for first and second reading the
Oh,
way the
okay, good.
ordinances do. Yeah, ordinance. Yeah, it's not a law change. So just FYI, it just has to go to one meeting, and it's fairly easy. I've never seen, council really scrutinize it. I mean, they trust the commissions and they review it, but it should be one meeting.
So we would just put in a proposal. We don't have to put in the changes this time, right? We could just put in a proposal that we change our bylaws? Or do we have to tell them exactly what we want to do with it?
I mean,
would
sorry,
Go
go ahead, Kennedy.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was going to say that we could vote internally to recommend, changes to our bylaws, then write them up, then forward them to the city administrator and see if they'd be willing to take it to the meeting next week. But like Commissioner Mozak said, I think there needs to be a larger conversation about whether or not, the majority.
There does.
Yes. So I don't want us to move too fast, but it's very, you don't have to write a whole resolution. It's just a few sentences of what you're going to change, send it to the legal department, and then they'll put it on the agenda.
Commissioner Solomon?
Yeah, I would like to pause and bookmark this for further discussion. I feel like we're already really getting ahead of ourselves. So again, I realize we have exactly 8 minutes left, but I think this needs to be deferred to a future meeting for full discussion, time on the agenda as a bullet point on our agenda. Pros and cons, right? Full discussion, no foregone conclusions.
Commissioner
I'd like to
Hawkins?
make a motion, man. Oh, go ahead.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Hi, I just wanted to ask, I know we're down 2 people on the committee. Are we missing anybody today in terms of, kind of having a discussion of people who would have needed to be here to make that decision? I just wanted to double check. I agree with Commissioner Solomon that it's pretty mixed right now, but I just wanted to see,
We are missing
what we're
one commissioner is absent today,
Okay.
but everyone else is here.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah, this
Can I
would,
make a
That we
motion
table
now?
this, or what's the parliamentary procedure on this?
yeah, the procedure then, commissioners, would then be a motion to put this on the agenda for next month, so that we can fully discuss this and then move forward in the process.
That's the motion I'm going to make. Unless Commissioner Fallon wants to make it.
Please go ahead, Larry. You understand parliamentary procedure far better than I do.
I'd like to think so, but we'll see. I move that we have a discussion about changing the bylaws in the near future. Let's put it on the next agenda, and we'll go from there.
This is Chair
We'll
Damon.
put it on the next.
I second, but I would like to also make sure, because I know this conversation can possibly take some time, so I'd like to make sure, Larry, that when you and I review the agenda, that we can determine the correct location for this on the agenda.
I would agree with that, and I would also, I had something else, and I forgot. I would agree with that.
Okay.
But that's not even it's comment, not a friendly amendment. So
For maximum.
oh yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
Oh, and I guess the slight amendment I'd like to make to that is we discuss. Well, we could do that next meeting, but I want to discuss maybe we could have a committee to do that so we didn't take up commission time as much. We could form a committee to do that, to review the bylaws.
Yeah, if this is going to come before us, obviously we need the bylaws in front of us, and we need, a couple sentences on what's being proposed. Like, otherwise we can't really have a discussion. So, those on the committee that are invested in making this change, I do feel it's incumbent upon you to come up with a few sentences as well as supplying us with the bylaws. Again, I have no problem with this in theory necessarily, and I have no question with the current leadership, but just we need preparation, and this kind of snuck up on me a little bit.
Commissioner Hawkins?
Did you want to add something, Larry?
No, I think I'm good, unless you want to add something.
My only question was, I'm just wondering, I know there are times we've come close to not having a quorum. Like, what would happen if we meet again in November and we don't have enough people to make this decision about either deferring it or holding it? Is there some kind of negative ramification if we are not able to have the vote in November?
No,
No,
before
if
any
we
commission
don't
meeting,
have it
we're
November,
supposed to have, before any commission meeting, we're supposed to have a quorum. So for there to be a vote on this topic at the next meeting, we have to have a quorum at the meeting first before the meeting got started. So
so
at the,
we'd have to wait till the next meeting we had a quorum at.
correct. So
Okay.
if the November meeting, for some reason, there wasn't a quorum, that would get canceled. And then the next meeting, the December meeting, would be the next meeting to make sure we had a quorum for the discussion. So we have to have a quorum
And if that
to make
didn't
a
happen,
vote.
we could go to January. We'd have to wait till the next one, even if it was a couple months. So there would be no ramifications except that we couldn't do it.
Yeah, thanks for explaining, Larry. I just wanted to double check, if there was a ramification on the timeline if we weren't able to do it in November. So I understand that, without the quorum, this is a moot point, but I just wanted to see if there were other things we needed to consider.
So Commissioner Damon, our Chairman, Chairman, should we call the question, or is there any more discussion?
Commissioner Mozak has her hand up.
Yeah, I'd like to, per Robert's rules, have discussion on the motion, please. My discussion surrounds the motion itself. I think we need to be a little bit more specific. I believe the motion only stated that it was regarding bylaws, and I think we need to be more pointed. We're specifically talking about bylaws and election of officers and term limits. So I don't know what that would look like in a motion, but I don't think just saying we want to look at the bylaws is enough. That's just my opinion.
Well, this is Chair Damon. Then I'm going to say that we need to just set up a separate time to discuss this, and give ourselves full time to do that. Because we could discuss it at a meeting under the agenda, but it would go under old business, which would then put a lot of our other agenda items prior, which would not give us, I think, ample time to discuss this in length. So I propose that the bylaws discussion is, something that we give ourselves ample time to discuss, and either we choose to have a committee, or we discuss this and we hold a special meeting to make sure we have ample time.
No, I hear you. I thought the motion today that was made was regarding adding this to the agenda for next month, not on actually doing any business with it. Did I mishear that?
No, it came general. So, the time is getting late. Should we, for the bylaws discussion, I would motion that we table the discussion. I would motion that we table it till next month, but put it on the agenda as our discussion item to amend the bylaws.
If I'm hearing you right, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Larry, does that mean that we would then have the discussion about the bylaws, and then if we had to take the discussion in November, we would then take the vote the same meeting, or would we be then pushing back the vote if we're talking about the bylaws in the regular November meeting?
My understanding is that we would still have elections next month, if that's what you're asking, but we would vote to work on the bylaws. But right now we have to still have elections according to the bylaws.
All right, guys.
And we could vote.
We are running over time, so I'm going to give Commissioner Gossage his time to speak, but then after that, we are going to have to communicate this issue after the fact. I don't want to keep people over time.
Yeah, just my motion to table it.
My suggestion would be that we have a new business next month, a conversation around bylaws. It can be general, because the end result might be that we have a bylaws committee created to suss out any particular changes to the bylaws. We hold elections next month, as you should. And then if we want to change the bylaws to vote for terms in June, then the people that are in those terms that are currently the chair and vice chair for that period of time could potentially run, or we could look at other folks running and having that new election schedule. This is something that happens. Boards do go through changing on when they hold their elections and all of those things. So I don't think we need to make this overly complicated. Let's just have the discussion next month, and let's get some folks in the positions nominally for the next handful of months and go from there.
Alex, this is Chair Damon. I agree with that. I think we should just put the discussion on the agenda for next month, and then take our time and adjust the bylaws accordingly, and set up time to talk about that.
I would agree.
Okay. So
Does that
with
mean
that,
an election will happen next meeting? Is that correct?
That should be correct.
That would be my understanding. So if there are people who are interested for the next period of time or amount of time, whether it's a year or less, then they would be able to nominate themselves at the next meeting, I'm assuming, Zach?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Elections will happen at the next meeting. We would just have to send Kennedy info on who would be interested in filling what position and who would want to be nominated.
Hello?
Yes, we would have to send Kennedy information, folks, on what position individuals would like. And then from there would be an election next meeting. But then we will also have the discussion about the bylaws as well. But we still need to be able to set up a time to have, longer discussion about the bylaws. But to answer the question in conclusion, yes, there will be an election next meeting. If people are interested in filling positions on a temporary basis, then please let Kennedy know your nomination and or interest. And then at the next meeting, we will have elections to fill some of those spots if people are interested.
I think it should be full-term election now for the full 2 years, since it's